David.
Hey, Gobi, how's it going?
It's been a minute.
Yeah, it's been a while. Well, summer break, you know, busy doing other stuff break. Time we got back to it, we're stuck at 99 likes, fans on our Facebook page, so we gotta start upping
Wrap it
that a little
up.
bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, pump it up.
They say if content is king, we're still the cook of content. We're not
Uh,
at king level, so we got to create a lot more content, I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what's been going on with you? What's new and exciting?
A lot of good things. I ran into a bunch of articles recently, something called design thinking that's really spoke to me. That's really what I do. I won't go into what it is because it's kind of off topic for today. But it is definitely like literally not only what I do, but what I am on so many levels. So I was very, very happy. That was sort of like a breakthrough for me, finding that there's actually an industry name for the unique set of gifts and multidisciplinary stuff that I do. So yeah, so that's been good. So I'm changing my focus a little bit. I'm not dropping the coaching website, but I am going to focus more, I believe, on mixing in, a mix of coaching, IT, business, design, all the things that I like into a single project, a consulting project. So that's a work in progress, and that's inspired me actually to think about something that's like, I mean, it's a buzzword as much as any other one out there today, but the whole find your purpose kind of thing. And I've got nothing against finding your purpose. I mean, essentially that's what I've been trying to do for the last year or so. But I think the wording of it, find your calling or find your purpose, it puts this huge pressure on people like, oh, I'm not going to be good enough, or, part of the aware or conscious community, or a good person or whatever, or successful, unless I find my purpose. And my like really real like down to earth take on this is you don't have to find anything. Well, you don't have to find your purpose. Your purpose will find you. All you have to find is yourself. And it's actually as simple as, I mean, you could, do meditation, things like that. I mean, I've used those techniques as well, but mostly it's really about like taking the time to reflect on like all those moments, where you were doing things that really made you feel alive. And maybe after a while you got sick of them or tired, and there might have been a reason for that you weren't approaching it right, which leads I thought I was done with technology, only to realize I still love technology. It's just that I was approaching it, in a way that was burning me out because I was getting way too involved with the actual coding and everything, and didn't realize that the envisioning of the possibilities and the structuring and the designing was actually what I enjoyed, even though I did enjoy some amount of coding. But so it could be as simple as just write down all the things that you really enjoyed, and instead of focusing on those specific things, try to look, especially for people with multiple interests or multiple passions, try to figure out, over time, and just let it come to you. Like, don't figure it out, just let it come to you. Write them down so you don't forget. But the thinking patterns or the qualities in you behind those things. Like for example, I was a huge fan of something completely unrelated. It was a video game called Caesar, and Caesar, SimCity, all those like Civilization, all those city and universe building games. And so I wrote that down as well, and it actually helped because I could see after a while all the common points between all these things. In that game, there was definitely designing a beautiful city, so there was definitely a design element in there. I do enjoy design. The understanding the rules, the mechanics of things, like understanding how things work. So like a really analytical and synthetic mind, but also the engineering, the mechanics, which kind of goes along with technology or structuring or engineering, in a general sense. And essentially, as I got clearer and clearer and clearer over the last few months of what it is exactly that I want to do. I mean, I have like pages and pages of notes of like my ideal clients, and I want to be traveling this much out of the year, and I want to be doing this, and I want to be doing that, and I want it to be exactly like that. You kind of like envision your perfect client and your perfect business. And that's when this, after a while, and I got to like a real good place of clarity. That's when this design thinking article came about, and I was like, oh my god, this is like so me. And it was like literally, I was like literally crying of gratitude for finding an industry that would want someone like me. So that's that. So I would say, that's my message. Keep it simple. It doesn't have to be, this. I mean, yeah, there is, some, spiritual divine element to it. Yeah, we are a soul. Yeah, we were born with, a mission or a calling or whatever. But you are a soul in a human body, and there's nothing wrong with, approaching it like a regular human being with very simple tools and relaxing. Like nothing bad is going to happen to you if you don't find it. So take that pressure off. And the minute you take the pressure off, it becomes much easier. And also realize that you don't have to do all the work by yourself. You can talk to people. You can simply ask, for things to manifest. Just like if you can't find an answer to something, just ask for the answer to come to you. And learn to receive. It's not about you doing all the work. That a lot of people out there are like, oh, you got to take massive action. This like superhero kind of thing. And I think that's bullshit. There is a time for action. Obviously, nothing's going to happen on its own. There is some work to put in. But just as important is the feminine side of understanding that life is also here to give you things, guidance, resources, people, whatever. So yeah, don't sweat it. Find out who you are, and your calling will find you. So that's my message for the day.
That's pretty good. That's pretty deep. Yeah, I think what resonates with me is sort of the releasing and let go aspect of it. Because I think control, at least for me, comes from the ego and guilt in not having figured it all out, and that I'm on a time crunch and I need to get my shit together, and everything's got to sort of be sorted out ASAP. But the world doesn't really work that way. And I think the more you sort of release and let go, the more answers start to come your way, And I think for me, one of the realizations was subconsciously, I shared this with you earlier, but 4 or 5 days ago, I kind of realized that there's a whisper of a message that's always played in the back of my head that sort of said, someone needs to come rescue me. And there was a desire for being rescued because I didn't think I was capable of achieving and or solving all the problems of life. And then I was like, wait a minute, why can't I deal with all my issues and provide for my family and ask for more and better from the universe, and actually I deserve better and more from the universe. So, I remember in The Secret it said, be careful of what song you sing, because the universe doesn't judge, it just gives you what you ask for. And if it's a woe is me, I'm a victim, nothing ever works out for me, everything always goes wrong, I'm always sick, I always have bad people come, that's what you get. And I sort of have, even in the last week, been catching myself and trying to reprogram old habitual thoughts that are self-limiting, and I'm giving myself a little more leeway and allowing myself to know that I don't know, but that the concept of sort of releasing and asking the universe or whatever you believe in up there to give you a little guidance, if anything, just lightens the load a little bit. Even if there's nothing up there, even if there's no help, the idea of sort of releasing just sort of calms your ass down a little bit. You know what I mean? It's because then it sort of feels like, the ethers or energy or oxygen or the sun or the moon or the stars are sort of there for you, and they'll take care of you, So anyway, that for me, that's and I've seen some doors open. I've seen some new clients come to the table. I've seen some people, appreciate and be more interested in my work. And nothing's changed in the last week. You know what I mean? It's like a week ago, I was like, oh my God, I need to do this, that, the other. And a little bit of release it's almost that it sort of opened up a portal for energy to come my way. So that's
Yeah, because your energy changed.
yeah, 100%.
You're more relaxed.
100%.
Sometimes, I used to like meditate sometimes, and I was like head filled with thoughts, and oh my God, I got such a long way to go, and sometimes I'd be like, you know what, just like a sigh, just like, but it was like, it wasn't forced or anything. It was just like, and in those moments, it's like the second I did that, like literally, it felt like there was some light, like falling down on me. Like it happened a few times on a few occasions, and it's just like when you give yourself, it's not complaining. Everybody's allowed to just go once in a while, and it feels so good. Like just like, you know what, I could use a fucking break, and usually what you'll find is that when it's honestly asked from the heart, the break does come, but you've got to allow yourself to receive it, because if you're like under the impression that like, oh, you got to hang on to the control and you got to make everything happen, then that's exactly like you said, that's exactly what you're going to get.
Yeah.
It's going to be all up to you, when in fact you're not wired to function like that. None of us are. We're all wired to do certain things, but also receive support and help from the world and the universe and other people.
Yeah. All right, cool. I think that's a good little segment.
I think that's nice and short and sweet. Probably didn't go over 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's actually just under 12 right now if we stop in the next 25 seconds.
All right, so that's good. Let's stop there.
All right,
brother. Love
let's do it again soon.
Let's do it again soon.
All right.
Ciao.
Ciao.